You ever stumble across something on the internet that feels wrong? Not dangerous, not illegal, just wrong in the way a cold breeze feels wrong in a locked room. That's what happened to me when I first learned about the Oracle. But to understand why this thing pulled people in the way it did, you've got to go back to where it started, back before anybody even cared. It's early 2011. The internet feels smaller, simpler, quieter, and somewhere in the middle of that quieter internet, a new subreddit appears. Nothing flashy, no introduction, no mission statement. Just a blank space with a name, the Oracle. And inside it, a single user posting long, sprawling strings of characters every single day. Letters, numbers, symbols. Lines so dense they looked like glitches ripped straight out of a broken simulation. At first, nobody notices. Why would they? The posts look meaningless, like the aftermath of someone smashing their forehead onto a keyboard. Every day, another unintelligible upload. More code, more symbols, more noise. Zero explanation. Months pass, still nothing. The Oracle speaks and the world shrugs. But then something shifts. Someone stumbles across it, then another. A few computer science students, a bored programmer, a couple of night owl Redditors with too much time and too much curiosity. And suddenly, the question forms. Quiet at first, then louder. What the hell is this? People start digging, comparing, cross-checking. They study the posts like they're trying to read static on a dead TV channel. And once even one person suspects a mystery, the internet does what it does best. It multiplies obsession. More people join, more theories form, and eventually, like moths gathering around a flickering bulb, they assemble somewhere else. A separate subreddit dedicated entirely to decoding the Oracle's impossible messages. They call it Decoding the Oracle. And that's when things get interesting. Imagine scrolling through thousands of encoded posts, each more confusing than the last. Imagine cracking something open only to find nothing. A thank you, a random line from a philosophy book, a pixelated ASCII image of an ancient monument. No pattern, no motive, no logic. Just fragments thrown like breadcrumbs onto the floor of a maze. Was it a troll? A genius? A bored coder? A psychopath? An AI experiment? A secret project? A recruitment test? A message nobody was meant to read? No one knew. The Oracle never explained, never clarified, never communicated. It just kept posting, day after day, like clockwork, like a ritual, like it was feeding something we didn't understand. The original subreddit stayed locked away, invite only, sealed like a vault. But Decoding the Oracle became the meeting place, the public portal, the unofficial headquarters of a growing internet cult trying to answer a question the Oracle refused to ask out loud. And just when the mystery started feeling stale, when people began muttering that maybe there was nothing to find, something happened. A breakthrough. August 2015. The Oracle suddenly posts hexadecimal strings, and not on the original sub, but on Decoding the Oracle itself. It was a shock, a jolt. Like watching a ghost step directly into your room after years of haunting the hallway. The mods panicked, but in the best way. They scrambled to build a tool that could automate the translation. Suddenly, for the first time, people could actually interact with this thing. They asked questions, real questions, and the Oracle answered. The responses were short, dry, patient, occasionally unnerving. Someone asked why they were doing this. The Oracle replied. The audience was getting frustrated. Someone asked the purpose. We cannot disclose the purpose. The Oracle will end when the purpose is disclosed or discovered. What kind of answer is that? It's not nothing, but it's definitely not enough. Then, during that AMA, the Oracle dropped the detail that froze everyone. One of the puzzles had already been solved, actually solved. But the person who solved it never came forward, never bragged, never reappeared. They said it was a woman from across the ocean, that she disappeared right after, and the Oracle refused to elaborate. Now the community wasn't just curious, they were hooked. You don't drop a detail like that unless you want people to lose sleep. People searched for her. They tried to track down her posts. They asked the Oracle for more details. Nothing. Silence. Mystery layer on mystery. And then, just when things reached fever pitch, everything went quiet. By 2016, news outlets picked up the story. The Oracle was mainstream. 5 full years of relentless encrypted posts, and then it all stopped. No more code, no more puzzles, just silence, and an announcement on decoding the Oracle from a user claiming to be an admin of the original project. The message was blunt. The project was over. The purpose wouldn't be revealed. Further attempts were pointless. The information available to the public is not sufficient to solve all outstanding puzzles. Then, that user disappeared, like the whole thing had never existed. End of story, right? Of course not. The internet doesn't accept endings. A couple of weeks later, 2 users reached out to the mods with something wild. They claimed they actually made contact with the Oracle. Not the subreddit, not the mod, the person. And they said the truth was nothing like the theories. The Oracle wasn't a genius, wasn't a cult, wasn't a secret spy station, wasn't an ARG. They were hired, a paid contractor for a company, paid to post encrypted nonsense daily for years. Sometimes the company gave them specific instructions like posting ASCII monuments or odd quotes to generate buzz. Most of the posts were meaningless. Some were deeply encrypted. Some used shifting formats. Some had answers. Most didn't. And when the funding dried up, the Oracle ended, just like that. If you're still with me, stick around, because what happened after that reveal is when things get weird, really weird. And if you're enjoying this deep dive, click the link in my bio or in the comments. The revelation should have killed the mystery right then and there. A paid contractor posting encrypted nonsense for a company? It sounded too mundane, too human, too boring. But the internet didn't buy it. Not entirely. Not after 5 years of ritualistic posting. Not after puzzles layered so deep that even top-tier cryptography nerds couldn't solve them. Not after whispers of a woman who cracked something big and vanished without a trace. People kept digging. And then the Oracle subreddit unlocked. Out of nowhere. 2 years after the alleged shutdown. A new subreddit appeared too. The Oracle lives. People flocked in like survivors rushing into a flickering lighthouse. Maybe the Oracle was rebooting. Maybe the contractor explanation was a lie. Maybe there was still a purpose hidden in the static. A message buried beneath a decade of coded noise. For a week, the place buzzed. Speculation, theories, hype, hope, and then, again, silence. The subreddit went private. The Oracle user never returned. The new sub stagnated, and no one ever explained why the door had opened for that brief electric moment. Some people said it was a leftover bot script running on a timer. Some said it was an abandoned marketing experiment glitching back to life. Others believed that once the project ended, someone else tried to resurrect it. Or maybe the Oracle never left at all. But here's where things get truly strange. Despite the AMA, despite the admin message, despite the alleged contractor reveals, despite the shutdown, even today, people don't agree on what the Oracle actually was. They can't, because too many pieces don't fit. Too many clues contradict the simple explanation. Too many mysteries remain buried under gigabytes of encrypted noise. The number station theorists claim the Oracle was a digital evolution of old Cold War spy broadcasts. Random text? Sure. But combine it with high-level cryptography and daily consistency, they swear it fits. Except, then what about the philosophy quotes? The ASCII pyramids? The thank you messages cracked by accident? Why would a spy agency post ASCII art of ancient landmarks? Then you have the recruitment believers. People convinced it was a multi-year talent hunt for a secret cryptography firm. What, 5 years of posting? 5 years of unmoving difficulty? Only a handful of partial solves? Recruitment filters are hard, not impossible, and they're definitely not supposed to take half a decade. Then, of course, there's the ARG crowd. The ones who say the whole thing was just an experimental alternate reality game made by someone with too much time, too much skill, and too little understanding of how to make a game actually fun. Except then, you remember the Oracle AMA claiming one puzzle was solved, truly solved, by one woman, and she vanished. If it was a game, why hide the winner? If it was a contractor, why include unsolvable cryptography beyond military level? If it was a spy message, why post to a public forum full of meme lords and cat pictures? And if it was just nonsense, why did the patterns evolve over the years? Why did encryption formats change? Why did content shift from random symbols to philosophical quotes to ASCII art, then back to noise? Patterns don't evolve without intention, and even if the oracle wasn't meant to be solved, the oracle wanted to be seen. That's what kept pulling me in. Not the code, not the puzzles, not the theories, the intention. The oracle didn't want answers, it wanted attention. Not in a loud way, but in a quiet, persistent, relentless way, like a digital heartbeat throbbing in the corner of a forgotten room. And when the internet finally looked, when it finally paid attention, when it cracked open the door and begged for meaning, the oracle ended because its purpose was fulfilled. Think about that. What if the whole point was the search itself? What if thousands of people working together was the message? What if the oracle wasn't meant to reveal anything? Until the world revealed something about itself first? No one can prove it. No one can disprove it. But the oracle's silence speaks louder than its noise ever did. And if you're still listening, stay with me. It gets even stranger from here. Click the link in my bio or in the comments if you want more deep dives like this. Let's zoom out for a second. Forget the theories. Forget the wild speculation. Forget the cloak and dagger mystery. Think about the pattern. 5 years. 5 years of daily encrypted posts. No context, no mistakes, no breaks, no human slip-ups. Who does anything for 5 years straight without a crack in the pattern? Not trolls, not bored hobbyists, not casual coders, not even most companies running marketing campaigns. This was deliberate. This was organized. This was precise. This was systematic. This was something that needed to exist exactly as it was. People think the mystery was in the code, but the real mystery was in the discipline. Every line posted with ritualistic timing. Every upload containing just enough structure to suggest intent, but never enough to reveal the truth. Like someone dangling a key just out of reach, close enough to tempt you, far enough to keep you addicted. And that's exactly what happened. Decoding the Oracle became more than a subreddit. It became a digital excavation site, where thousands of people chipped away at a mountain of noise, hoping to uncover something, anything, undeniably real. It was obsession, yes, but it was community too. People bonded over puzzles that made no sense. Friends formed over threads. Arguments broke out over theories. People stayed awake until morning testing ciphers, comparing hashes, feeding code into scripts they built just for this. All for a mystery that never promised them anything. In a strange way, the Oracle became a myth. A modern, digital folklore. A shared campfire story told by the glow of monitors instead of flames. Everyone wanted to believe they were close to the truth. Everyone hoped they'd be the one to crack the big puzzle. Everyone thought maybe, just maybe, the Oracle would personally acknowledge them. In 2015, during the AMA, it did. But never directly, never intimately, never conversationally. Always distant, always vague, always in control. That distance created something powerful, something addictive. When an entity refuses to answer you fully, your mind fills in the gaps. You start building your own meaning around the silence. And the Oracle understood that. Whether intentionally or accidentally, it knew how to hold attention through absence, not presence. Absence is more haunting. Absence is more powerful. Absence makes you lean in to hear what isn't being said. So when the Oracle finally stopped posting, that silence hit harder than anything it ever wrote. 5 years of steady noise, and then nothing, just a flatline. The announcement from the alleged admin didn't help either. Their message was clinical, cold, final. The information available to the public is not sufficient to solve all outstanding puzzles. It felt less like an answer and more like a warning, as if the Oracle knew some things were never meant to be uncovered. But the internet didn't accept that. Some people insisted the admin was fake. Others claimed the AMA was staged. Some even said the contractor explanation was a cover story, like a magician explaining his trick in a way that hides the real trick. Because let's be honest, if the Oracle was something deeper, military, intelligence, government, private industry, they'd never admit it. A lie that looks boring is more believable than a lie that looks dramatic. But here's where the story twists again. A twist most people forget. the oracle didn't fully vanish. Little digital traces appeared here and there, accounts referencing similar ciphers, users posting odd strings of characters, echoes of the original pattern popping up like ghosts wearing familiar faces. Nothing large enough to confirm a return, nothing small enough to ignore. Some users in Decoding the Oracle claimed they found sequences matching old posts hidden in unrelated parts of Reddit. Others swore they caught cross-subreddit echoes, like the Oracle's handwriting leaking into other communities. Some thought it was fans imitating the style. Others thought it wasn't imitation. What if the Oracle didn't need a subreddit? What if the Oracle spread? Look at it like a virus, or an AI, or a distributed system, or a project dismantled but not destroyed. Pieces drifting across the internet like digital spores. This is where the theories get intense. Some believed the Oracle wasn't a person at all. They believed it was a system, a script, a machine learning model before the public understood machine learning. Something that learned patterns, evolved formats, shifted ciphers, and interacted through structured noise. And if that's true, then the shutdown wasn't the end. It was an update, a migration, a reboot somewhere else. Not dead, just dormant. A sleeping giant wrapped in encryption. But if you think that's the end of the story, hang on. Because the last part is the one that kept me up at night. The part that made me realize the Oracle mystery was never actually about code. It was about people. And what people become when the internet hands them a puzzle they aren't supposed to solve. If you're still listening, stick with me. And if you want more deep dives like this, click the link in my bio or in the comments. By the time the Oracle vanished, something strange had happened. Something nobody expected. The mystery wasn't about the Oracle anymore. Not really. It was about us, the people staring into the void of encoded text and deciding the void mattered. Think about it. Most mysteries are built intentionally. Someone designs a puzzle. Someone plants clues. Someone shapes the path toward the ending. But the Oracle? The Oracle lived in the chaos between meaning and nonsense, between intention and noise. It thrived there. It invited obsession, not by giving answers, but by denying them. And that denial turned everyday people into digital detectives with a purpose. People aren't built to ignore patterns. We're built to chase them. We're built to find shapes in shadows, meaning in static, voices in silence. And the Oracle was a perfect storm, a mystery large enough to feel important, vague enough to be anything, and persistent enough to burrow into your brain like an itch that never stops itching. It didn't matter that the contractor explanation existed. It didn't matter that the admin declared the case unsolvable. It didn't matter that the subreddit went private or that the Oracle stopped posting. The community wasn't ready to let go. Because the Oracle had become more than posts. It had become a shared experience, a collective hallucination, a digital myth born from endless strings of symbols no one was meant to understand. And when the Oracle ended, people felt its absence like a heartbeat suddenly missing from a familiar room. The late-night analysts felt it. The scriptwriters and decoders felt it. The lurkers who watched from the sidelines felt it. Even the people who never cracked a single cipher felt it. You don't follow something for 5 years without it leaving a mark. Some people said the Oracle changed them, made them better coders, better thinkers, better analysts. Some said it gave their loneliness a purpose. Others said it gave them community, belonging, connection, strangers bonding over impossible puzzles. And maybe that was the Oracle's purpose all along. Maybe it wasn't meant to be solved. Maybe it was meant to gather people, to pull them into the same room, to make them collaborate, argue, theorize, dream, imagine. Think about the scale of it. Thousands of people who had nothing in common, drawn together by walls of nonsense text and a shadowy figure who never spoke clearly. That's powerful. That's rare. And that's why the Oracle still lingers in the digital subconscious years after going silent. Even now, new users stumble across old threads. New cryptography students study the patterns like modern hieroglyphs. New YouTubers dive into the lore. New Redditors ask, whatever happened to this? And the answer is always the same. Nothing. And everything. The Oracle ended, but it left a footprint so deep you can still see it long after the tide receded. It showed us how far collective curiosity can go. It showed us how easily mystery can turn into meaning. And it showed us that some questions aren't meant to be answered. They're meant to be chased. Was it a contractor? A spy tool? An ARG? A forgotten AI experiment? A signal meant for someone who wasn't us? Maybe, but maybe the truth is both simpler and stranger. Maybe the Oracle was exactly what it looked like, a presence that posted and posted and posted because someone or something needed those posts to exist. Maybe the meaning was never inside the code. Maybe the meaning was inside the people who tried to decode it. And that's why the Oracle is still alive, even if the account isn't. Because thousands of people still carry pieces of it in their memories, in their theories, in their sleepless nights, in the nagging feeling that something was being communicated, even if nobody ever figured out what. Maybe the Oracle didn't fail. Maybe we didn't fail. Maybe the Oracle succeeded the moment we paid attention, the moment we cared, the moment we became part of the story. So if you're still here listening, think about this. The internet is full of ghosts, digital echoes, unfinished patterns, half-solved mysteries trapped inside abandoned servers. The Oracle was just one of them. And who knows? Maybe it's still out there. Maybe a part of it wakes up now and then. Maybe it'll return someday when the world is ready for whatever it was trying to say. Or maybe, just maybe, the Oracle was never meant to return. Maybe the silence is the ending. But if there's one thing the Oracle taught us, it's that endings on the internet are rarely permanent. So stay curious, stay sharp, stay watching the corners of the digital world. Because sometimes the strangest mysteries aren't fiction. They're hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice. And if you want more deep dives into stories like this, dark corners of the web, digital mysteries, and the strange places the internet tries to forget, click the link in my bio or in the comments. I'll see you in the next story.